Hello, hello. Welcome back to my channel, old friends. It's only been like 5 months, right? So my last video was May 31st. I went back and looked. A lot has changed. I'm sure a lot has changed for y'all as well in y'all's own lives. But today I'm just popping back in, saying hey, hello, giving some good wishes before the year wraps up. Not to say that this is gonna be my last time like hopping on here. I'm actually gonna post a couple of videos. So I am back on this platform. I've missed y'all so much. I'm happy to be back on here. Y'all know this is like my video diary. So I just had to come back. I missed y'all so much. I love sharing my thoughts in this way. It just feels a little bit more intimate for some reason. But yes, we need to get into everything that's unfolded because it's been so much. I'm nowhere near the same person I was in May, at the end of May, going into June. I mean, it's just been so much. But we're gonna get into it. First, I wanted to like touch on what on earth was going on at the time I made my last video because it was kind of like a transitional type time for me. Even now, it still feels transitional, but I'm more secure in the process of the direction I feel I'm going in. At that time, it was kind of like free falling, like brainstorming, trying to figure out what that looked like. Now, I am 100% certain. So let's have a good laugh at some of the things that I thought were the direction I was going in, because like I said, it's totally different now, I'm sure. So I like to go back and assess what my next steps or my next set of focus was at the time. And one thing was, I was saying how I wanted to reform my relationship with social media, which at the time it was more showing the direction of like, I just want to delete everything. Like, I don't even want any social media. Like, or I want like very few like platforms that I operate on. I wanted it to be more intimate. Like at the time, I for sure wanted like a more intimate social media space, and I wanted like this bigger platform where I could, push my things out there that I needed to, like in regards to my own publication. So at the time, I was thinking that of all things, my Twitter, I cannot part with you. I've been on Twitter so long. I love, well, X now. But I was like, Twitter is going to be my main. And then I had hopped back on Snapchat. So I was having like real intimate interactions on Snapchat where I was like showing more of my private life. And then the unthinkable happens. It wasn't really unthinkable when you consider the stuff I post on Twitter. It wasn't. But my Twitter got suspended. Imagine that. My Twitter got suspended. I had that account for like 9 years. Like I had came on that account in like 2009, like before I even got to high school. So I grew up on that account for real. So just imagine all of the like connections, friends, colleagues just lost because my account got suspended. So that was that was crazy because I was just stunned, and I tried to fight it, tried to appeal it. Elon was like, "No, girl, you're done." Of course. And the reason my Twitter got suspended when it comes down to it, so I made a joke to some capitalist that was on there bragging about how they orchestrate poverty to make more profit and how they were going to need to continue to do more of that going forward. And I guess it just didn't go over well. So, long story short, I did have a burner account and I have several, and that's across all platforms. That's another story. But yeah, I just hopped back on my one of my burners, and I just changed my main page. But with that, it definitely became more of an intimate space because I went back and got all of my fave mutuals from my old Twitter, And it's like I lost all my followers, but I feel like now the way it is, it's like I don't know, I just feel like I can have more intimate conversation on that platform than it was before when I had like more followers on there, more people seeing and engaging with my stuff. It's like I don't know, it's like I don't know. I think like this, I think I actually engage with my mutuals a little bit more. I don't know. But I'm appreciating the intimate space. Um, I don't know. I still have my Instagram. So the Instagram kind of turned more into the bigger platform, and then Twitter is like the more private, and then Snapchat is like the more private. So whatever. If I could rate them, I would say that, or if I could, put them in whatever category from privacy to more people. I would say the Snapchat is like the most private. The Twitter is like second, and then of course the Instagram. I have quite a few followers on there, so it's like that's my biggest platform. Whatever. The other thing was that I was gonna see where my journalism takes me. And at the time, I was still like somewhat interested in writing for major publications. But I don't know, like as time has passed, and I will explain everything that happened over the summer, I'm just becoming less and less interested in doing that. I actually just took the time to, like, I did a TikTok on the state of Black media, and it kind of made me sit with where I fall into that. And I was like, yeah, I'm just gonna keep doing my own thing. Like, my independent publication, she does pretty well. And we are almost going on 10 years. I can write what I want, when I want, at my own pace, there's no pressure. It's real organic. The people that I talk to and showcase on there, it's not like somebody telling me, "Hey, go talk to them." It's people that I come across like naturally, like on social media and stuff like that. Like I'll like something that they're putting out there art wise, and I'm already somewhat engaged with them on the timeline. So I'm like, that would be somebody to feature. So it's real organic, like I said, and I have freedom on my own end as the sole contributor to really write about whatever the hell I want, however I want to. There's no deadline. I just want to keep doing my own thing. I just want to contribute to my own vision and my own platform and utilize my own platform that I built for myself to get the messaging out there that I want to get out there. That was the whole point of it. Like I'm becoming less and less of a hard news girl. Like I just want to write for my enjoyment. I'm more so interested in like arts and culture pieces, um, things like that. So I don't know. We'll see how things go. But as of now, I'm just not pressed. I could see myself like doing features like here and there for certain platforms, but I'm just like tunnel vision towards my own publication right now because that is what fulfills me. So then the other things have not changed. Like I know that I wanted to focus on sustaining myself, deciding to jump out there as I'm not going to say a starving artist, a thriving artist, because that's exactly what I am, period. But the decision to do so, like, I don't even think at the time I made the last video, like, I don't realize the magnitude of that because this is literally like the Great Depression 2.0, and I decided to do that, like, now of all times. And it's going well. Like, today's December 1st, like I said, it's been 8 months. Like I've been able to sustain myself with my art for 8 months straight. Like I was telling my friend Taylor, I was like, if I get to a year, it's no looking back. Like it's already no looking back, but it's like what more do you need to see? Like you're capable of doing it. It must be your path if things lined up for you to be able to do so. And that'll be that. I also remember talking about how I wanted to form more meaningful connections. And honestly, I have been able to do that and then some. Like, I have been just having very pleasant interactions. Even when they're not so pleasant, I'm finding that I navigate those with a lot more ease. I'm able to just move away without all the back and forth or, the emotional roller coaster of like somebody just not being for you, like on any level. But I can honestly say, like, across the board, friends, family, dating, like even like coworkers and stuff, like I just haven't had too many issues there. Like I said, in fact, I've been enjoying like my interactions. Even my art network, it has expanded in ways I could have never imagined. And I mean, if you're an artist, you know how much we need each other. Just throughout the years, I've had like a couple of artists that I've engaged with, on a closer level, and our interactions were pivotal. Like they either, encouraged me in such a way or inspired me in such a way, pushed me to just keep going in life in general. So now that I have this network of artists, like more than one at a time at my disposal, I really be feeling like I can do anything for real. Like the love and support is just out of this world. And also too, I have just been enjoying the hell out of my simple life in the mountains. Like I can't stress this enough. Like as more time passes, I am just in complete disbelief at how many aspiring capitalists I used to have in my ear trying to tell me what I should pursue, or what might be better for me, when in reality we all live different truths. And a lot of people that were presenting certain ideas to me, like, oh, you need to move to the city, this, that, and the other, they didn't know my true nature. They didn't care to know my true nature. Which that, I will get more into that as time goes on. I just have such a heightened sense of appreciation for where I come from, the pace that things move at for me personally here. Um, I don't know, and just so many of the things that I've set to be my four pillars, I can achieve them here. And I will repeat them because I don't know if I said them in the last video, but it will always be my art, appreciation for nature, human connection, and spiritual enlightenment. So I can't think of a better place. Anywhere else that I move would just be me, being able to engage with capitalism and consumerism more readily. That's all the city has for me. Just moving to a new place to work, essentially. Ask me how I know. And yeah, sometimes you are exactly where you're supposed to be. So let's talk about where I'm at now, what led up to that. And I'm gonna be inserting hella TikToks. I'm gonna tell y'all that right now. So the catalyst for me really like seeing myself as like pursuing art full time this summer was definitely my art mentor, Lady D, who is the first lady of soul in West Virginia. So I feel like even like that was like a underlying catalyst, but I feel like even in my last video, like me saying, okay, I'm going to say that I took the summer off to focus on my art. At that time, I was almost like jokingly saying that. Like I was almost just putting a label on when really I was just trying to recover from burnout from leaving corporate America and just so happened to be doing some art when in reality my entire summer became centered around art, like really and truly. So back to Lady D. So she had actually reached out to me in December of like 2022. So leading into this year, she asked me if I wanted to come to this art listening session after I had posted some art on Facebook or something like that. And I had like some prior dealings with Lady D. So this was still kind of in the like introductory stages of us like getting to know each other, like definitely like acquaintances at this point. And I was like, yeah, cool. Like, when is it? She tells me, in December, hey, this is going to be sometime in the spring. So I just jumped back into my capitalist hellscape. I'm just working, whatever, with no incentive, of course, no incentive to, with no real incentive under capitalism. And she hits me up. She makes good on it. She hits me up in, I want to say like May, and she's like, the session's gonna be, I think, in June, and yeah, I'd love to have you there. So I go, and it's literally me, her, and a couple other artists that are pretty much being interviewed by this representative for this arts foundation that we have locally, and just asking us about our experience as Black artists in West Virginia. And we made like collages, just kind of expressing where we were with our art and what we would like to see for our art. Yeah, just like a really free flowing discussion. And Lady D was so like adamant. She was like, this is going to lead to other opportunity. And I was like, hey, if it does, it does. Like, I was just excited to be a part of it and to, make my collage. And I, went back, jumped back into my capitalist hellscape. I didn't think too much of it after the fact, but I was like excited to be a part of that process. So after the session, like I said, I just jumped back into my capitalist hellscape. I got a job working at this hotel that's not too far away. And I actually got the job because my mom had worked there part time, like previously, and she had made such an impression on a lot of the staff who still worked there. So they were like shook when I showed up. They were like, oh my gosh, Stephanie's daughter. And I got the job on the spot, and the schedule worked really well. Like, I still had my weekends open, and it didn't take up too much of my time, because I remember too, that was another goal I had, was that I just wanted more agency over my life. Like, I look back now, and I can't believe I really used to like seek out employment for like more money, like this thought of, oh, I need more money, I need more and more and more, like if you'll never get enough. But I just can't believe I used to like go into it like that and would be so willing to trade like my time in exchange for more money. Like, but now I look for employment that allows for more agency over my life, like more access to my time, even if it means it doesn't pay as much. I don't even care, girl. I just don't want to be at work all the time. Please and thank you. So I get settled into this job like midway through the summer, and I'm like, okay, let's have some fun. Let's really get into the summertime vibe. And one thing I did that I really enjoyed was that I went rafting with my mom's good friend Penny, and I'm gonna just put the TikTok here. Hey y'all, it's been a while, so come with me on my first rafting trip in years. So I grabbed me some water shoes and we boarded the bus to get shuttled down to our loading location. And the bus ride was honestly so much fun, y'all. Like, we was jam-packed on there. Everybody was so excited and the breeze was feeling good. Here we are getting everybody loaded up in their assigned boats. And some people got their individual duckies and some people got into like a 6-person raft. Here's my new friend Cole that I met. And I must say, everybody was so friendly and loving on this trip. It just made the experience so much better. And here is Miss Penny, which is the whole reason I'm here. She was one of my mom's closest friends all the way up until her passing. So, of course, I took her up on this invite to come and do something that I've always enjoyed but kind of got away from, and get to know and enjoy some of her family and some of her friends as well. So as y'all can see, we are navigating a pretty chill section of the river. We did have some low-level rapids, but for the most part, everybody was just chilling, floating down the river. After we we wrapped up, it was snack time, especially by then. I was starving. Then we headed over to the Rocks, which is a beautiful swim hole that Penny and her family have been swimming at for years and years. All in all, the trip was a 10 out of 10. I love you so much, Miss Penny. Like I said, we had a phenomenal time. Penny was an amazing friend to my mom, especially towards the end of her life. So she is just a gem to me. We still talk every day. Despite my mom passing, I know that there's not a thing I couldn't pick up the phone and call her for. Like, I love her down. And I love her family. She's always real welcoming. And I'm just so grateful for her. And like I said, we had a phenomenal time. So the summer goes on, and Lady D calls me back up again. And she's like, hey, do you want to come teach this week-long blues arts camp in Charleston? And I'm like, hell yeah. Now, at the time, I had no idea how any of that was going to work. I was like, where on earth am I going to stay? Like, I didn't even care about any of that. Like, I was just like, I'm going. Like, I have to do this. So I end up calling up another one of my art mentors, Miss Wilkins, who I talked about forever ago on this channel, but we have literally stayed in touch all this time. I met her on a train from DC to West Virginia in like 2016 ish. And we, like I said, we never missed a beat. I still see her here and there. We still talk all the time. And she was so happy to host me. We had a great time. I love staying with her. Hey, everybody, come teach art with me at the Step by Step Blues Camp in Charleston. So, day one, I had no idea what I was walking into, but I instantly fell in love with the space I was going to be working in. There were so many beautiful art pieces, and I just knew from the jump that these children were extremely creative. It was just crazy to me to have an abundance of pretty much any possible art supply that my heart could desire all in one place. So that was really exciting to me. I also love my view of the state capitol every day. So here I am anxiously waiting on the kids to show up. Mind you, I had no idea how old they would be or what their skill levels were, but they grew on me so fast. Here they are working on their renditions of blues singer Diamond Teeth Mary from West Virginia. So I stayed with my art mentor this week, and I thought it was so sweet that she still had all the pieces I had gifted her over the years. Day two, we just got right back to it. And as you can see, these children are incredibly talented. So these are two of the pieces that we completed based on the story of Carl Rutherford, another West Virginia blues legend. And here are their completed renditions of Diamond Teeth Mary. So Friday came around and it was time for their showcase. So I left the kiddos with this piece featuring their written responses about what they're passionate about, and also just a reminder that peace is attainable. When I say I had a time teaching this camp and I loved every minute of staying with my art mentor, like when I wasn't teaching the camp, I like that was a highlight of my summer. Like that was one of the highlights of my summer. I still think about those kids lovingly and I wish them well. At the end of the week, like you seen, they had this showcase and they left no crumbs. It was a full house because all their parents came out. So just quite a time. So of course I came home incredibly inspired on top of the fact that I was well compensated for the work I did. I mean, I was definitely on 10 when I got back home. It was just a totally new experience that ended up being really fulfilling. And I still was in the heart of the summer. So I was just incredibly optimistic. I was having the time of my life. I'm feeling good. The sun is still out. So again, jump back into my capitalist hellscape. And maybe 2 weeks pass, I get another call from Lady D. She's like, hey, do you want to come to me? She's like, hey, do you want to come with me to this art retreat in Kentucky? And of course, I'm like, yes, I'm already like anything, go ahead and put me down as yes. And I had no idea what I was in store for. Like, all I knew is that it was going to be a bunch of Appalachian artists. And she kept stressing to me, like, hey, there's funding through this collective that will support you like as an artist. You should really go so that you can see it by getting in the flow of all that. So I was already already excited about the art aspect. And then there's like, okay, there's some financial incentive too. Not that that's what I'm chasing. Again, the girls are just chasing agency over their lives. So if somebody wants to literally pay me to be an artist, let's do that. But y'all, when I say this ended up being one of the craziest things I've ever experienced in my life, and I will never be the same, let me just roll the clip. Y'all, come along with me on this art retreat that took a really horrendous turn. This is my day one fit. So here I am patiently waiting by the door. So excited. Can't wait for my art mentor to come pick me up. And just note that our destination was 4 hours away. So, y'all, I didn't know much about this location at all. I just knew it was an art retreat for a collective of Appalachian artists, and my art mentor had nominated me to come down with her this year. So the event was in Bledsoe, Kentucky. I might be saying it wrong. So this is where they lodged us, and this is me walking down and check out the day one performances by some Appalachian artists.
Learn the most by listening to those who have traveled the farthest through time. And that's just
So, y'all, this is where I slept. I was like, child, if I wake up to a pilgrim at the end of my bed in the middle of the night. So, this is the trail that I would have to take each morning to get down to the main facility. This is also the trail I was expected to take back up at night once all our workshops were done. But you could access our lodging from the main road, so I would just catch a ride with someone that was staying in there too instead. Just giving y'all an idea what the grounds look like before I head into day two of performances.
life alone, semi-pessimistic ways. Gotta shave for the day real quick. Cause if I'm looking good, I'm feeling better. It's 7 in the morning, I'ma light me up a J real quick. Can't get too cozy though, I gotta get my ass to work by 8. I sit in my
So after my first workshop, I came and kind of explored the grounds. I was feeling okay at this point. Here we are learning how to make acrylic paint out of naturally sourced items that you can find out in nature. Y'all, we were having so much fun. We were just loving on each other, inspiring one another, giving support, encouragement. Just happy to be around like minds, but especially happy to be around fellow creatives. Because when you are an artist, you know how fulfilling it is to just be around your people. And y'all, this is when it went down. I swear, as soon as I grabbed this pastry, that's when all hell broke loose. So, some palm colored supremacists showed up and said that we were desecrating their space and demanded that we leave. We had a lot of members that hold identities, and we didn't want to escalate the situation. And the police said they couldn't guarantee our safety for the night. So, we all, about 50 to 75 of us packed all our things and went back to our respective locations. Some of us drove, like I said, 3 to 4 hours to get there, but yeah, trash. Nothing else to say. So, yeah, long story short, our retreat was ambushed by white Christian fascists, the usual suspects, and it was an inside job. I will talk more about this only at y'all's request because I'm quite frankly tired of talking about it. I'm more interested in everything that unfolded for me after the fact. So, after the fact, I did a TikTok and ended up going viral, which connected me with artists from all over reaching out to show me support, expressing solidarity. And mind you, this is on top of all the new Appalachian artists that I met at this retreat. So my network of artists that I came in community with exploded. It literally exploded within like a week's time. So it's like they thought they stopped the show, but really y'all put me on. So who's the real winner here? I am still in disbelief because I'm like working with a lot of these artists like currently. So it's like I said, y'all didn't really do nothing but bring my people to me. So thank you. What's crazy is that even like an artist from Winston, Salem, North Carolina, had reached out to me, like telling me about her art collective that she's a part of down there. And mind you, I have been trying to get into the Winston art scene for years. For years. Like even living down there, I just could not find an in or couldn't figure out who to connect with. And after all that happened, boom. So like I said, they thought they ate, but there was plenty left on the plate for me by the time I got to it. So it is what it is. White supremacy loses yet again. Um, I'm just grateful that nobody got physically hurt. You know, it's joking. I'm jokingly saying this stuff now, but it was a really crazy situation. And a lot of people will be much more traumatized than I am that were like directly impacted. I was not directly confronted. So I'm just glad we made it out there safe. And I just feel like, if anything, it was just eye opening to a lot of us, especially being Appalachian artists, just how much more work needs to be done and just how important the work we are doing is. So, after that was all said and done, I had a lot of emotions. Like, it took me like 2 weeks to really get clear on where I stood with that. And I just transmuted a lot of my anger, sadness, disappointment because think I was down there, for all the fellowship, but I was also there to learn more about the funding. So it's like I kind of watched my dream, go down the drain. So, I just put all that into my art. I just started working with a lot of items I would find out in nature, like mussel shells, driftwood, different stones, rocks, like anything that would stick out to me in my homeland. Like I tried to look for ways to incorporate that, ways to express my experience as a Black woman in the Appalachian Mountains of Southern West Virginia. Like I just became a lot more interested in showcasing that in my work. And I mean, you can even see behind me, my girl, we was twins. We was twins before the winter got here, but that's a piece I worked on. You can kind of, I'm glad I'm in a position I can point. These are like the smaller muzzle shells, and then I got these eyes here. I really like to play on this game of the hills have eyes. And yeah, Afro girl, what more could you ask for? But yeah. And two, the way that group of artists came together to protect each other in that moment and do the aftercare, after everything happened, was again like an expression of love that was so meaningful to me. And it made me, proud to be an artist, but also um, just pride in where I'm from and just like feeling a real urge to put my foot down and say, yeah, actually, I do have the right to take up space here and anywhere that I want to be, especially back home. There's a lot of erasure that goes on with Black West Virginians, but it's like, girl, I have every right to be here as anybody else because I've been here for generations and generations and generations, just like your people have. So, like I said, I can take pride in the identity that I have connected here just as you can. And you ain't about to tell me when and where I can't be. You know what I'm saying? And tell me that my time here is not valid. It's just not going. Like, I'm not, like, that's so done, especially after that. I'm Afro-Latin. I have rich roots here. And not only will I take up space here, but I'm going to thrive here. So cry and throw up about it. So from this point on, the art events just continue to flow in. I got asked to be on my friend Robbie Moore's panel for his art exhibit titled Black History Month at Concord University, and I was so grateful to be a part of that. I also served as moderator on behalf of Black by God for the local film premiere of a film called King Cole, which is made by a West Virginia filmmaker, Miss Elaine. Definitely get into her. I also got honored at a Rock the Mic event, which is a Black open mic event locally. And they did a business spotlight on me where I got to talk about my online publication, Late Fork. And I also did a piece or two. I definitely shared some of the pieces, well, both pieces that I wrote. One was a poem that I co wrote with my good friend Shawnee. And then I did another piece titled Pieces, where I added an extra stanza to honor the art collective I was traveling with when that event happened. So it felt good to get those feelings out and to share that message with those in attendance. So that was a new and fun experience as well. And I did post that on here. So I know y'all probably was like, girl, what is this? Where's this coming from? You ain't posting the videos, but you got time to put an open mic. So I was just feeling like, okay, maybe this is something I'll continue to do. So I was like, let me put a record of it on here, and then I will, if I do another open mic, I'll put that performance so maybe we can track my progress together. Which, I'm back and forth. Y'all know I love the stage. I definitely see myself getting back on stage in 2024. It comes real natural to me. I'm a Leo rising, so I've always loved the stage. Um, it's like I'd be so shy sometimes, but it's like when it's time for me to perform in whatever way I need to perform on that stage, it's really nothing for real. So I was also recently asked to join this committee that is dedicated to diversity, inclusion, and providing resources to untapped artistry in West Virginia. So I'm really excited about that. And we had our in-person retreat at the beginning of, I think it was like the beginning of November. We had a couple of virtual sessions prior to that. So I'm really excited to be a part of this committee. I will tell y'all more as time goes on. But I'm gonna put my TikTok of the art retreat we just went to. Hey y'all, come along to an art retreat with me. First things first, I had to get me a biscuit from Tudor's before I even hit the road. So my trip up to Elkins, West Virginia is only about 2.5 hours, so not too bad at all. So I got settled into my hotel room, which is real simple, real cozy, and I just kind of gathered my thoughts for a minute and then I started getting ready for dinner. So I do have a little surprise for those that's been following me for a minute. I went to dinner at the Southern Kitchen, West Virginia, which, if y'all can remember, I did a story on them this time last year for Black by God. And this was the place 1 year ago, before it was even in operation, still in construction, really. And then here is the Southern Kitchen, West Virginia today. Like, what? I am so proud of these girls. Business is booming, and I'm not surprised. The food's amazing. had me a little drink too. So after dinner, I got ready to go down to the pool because y'all know I love a good swim. I spent me some time in the hot tub too, just stretching, relaxing, and unwinding. Then I headed on to bed for the night. I woke up and went downstairs and got me some breakfast from the hotel. Then I watched me some Cheaters. Y'all know I love Cheaters. That is my show. I'm a Scorpio Venus girly. Then here we are at the meeting venue, which is so cute, as you can see. We had so many cool things to fidget with during our meeting, and I loved it so much. As you can see, like almost anything the mind can contrive was there for you to grab and just have and play with while we brainstormed. And the vibes were just 10 out of 10 with this group of artists. So at one point, we all looked through this random collection of postcards and we each picked one. And of course, I picked this one. And we were to write what we were bringing to the meeting space today. And this is what I wrote. So at some point, I ended up in this crazy workshop area, and I loved every minute of it. I was just totally taken aback at some of the projects they were working on back here. Like, as you can see, this giant stack of sunflowers. So after the meeting, I went on this hunt for coffee, and everybody was waiting for a parade. So I was like, okay, cool. And here's the coffee shop I ended up going to. So I was like, okay, this is the Christmas parade everybody was talking about. Apparently, there's some historic tree in that truck. I don't know, y'all. The locals was real excited, so I love that for them. So I didn't find coffee, but I did find boba. So I just took it back to the hotel and just stayed in for the night. The morning came and I was just feeling so rested, so rejuvenated, so inspired. I decided to explore Elkins a little bit more before I got back on my side of the mountain. But yeah, Elkins is real cool. This is my second time here and I've had good experiences both times. So I'll definitely be back, and I definitely left feeling really optimistic about the artistic future of West Virginia. So, yes, all is well. I have no regrets about crafting an entire life around my art. I'm seeing that in the same way that I can translate these visions that I have artistically, I can also take this vision that I have for my life and translate it into my reality on some real alchemist type. So I'm real excited about where I am, who I am, where I'm going, who I'm becoming. So, I'm so glad to always have y'all on this journey with me. So, yes, expect more videos from me, especially as I'm getting more and more agency over my life. As y'all see, I can feel it each day. Like, I feel like I get a step closer each day. And now I'm back in a place where I'm ready to share after so many months of just living these experiences and, self reflecting. I'm ready to speak. I'm ready to share a little bit more of my stories. And yes, there will be a lot more videos to come. I know I fell back, but I'm back. Yes, there will be book reviews, analysis, vlogs, story times, ramblings, a lot more. Like, I'm just feeling more vocal. I don't know if it's just things I want to, get off my chest before the year ends. But yes, thank you guys for watching. And be sure to watch my next video I'm going to put out alongside of this one, I'm thinking. But it's a recap of my trip to New Orleans. I went to New Orleans maybe the middle of October, and I just kind of want to share my experience with that with you all on here. So I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye.